Welcome to the Hotline for today, Friday, the 25th November 2022. It's good to be with you today. We're on the outside. We're coming to you live from Devon House for an outside broadcast of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Eat Jamaican Day. And this thing is scheduled to begin from about 7:30 until 6 o'clock. Listen, we're going to try and get to the house in order. I shouldn't be coming here and people just sweep up yard. Right? A gentleman in front of me with his rake sweeping up. Two more over there sweeping up. The place is not ready. Yeah? And it's an easy thing to get it ready. It's a beautiful lawn, nice cool breeze. The ground provisions look good, but the place is not ready. So please never going to start it out before we get cross. Thank you. This is the Hotline. I intend to enjoy today. And I want you to do so as well. Where are we for my own thoughts at the moment? What a mental cacophony I'm having. What a state the country is in. Just like this yard, you know. That's interesting. As I sit and I look at these people trying to sweep one big yard and three little people with three little rakes with a whole heap of leaves around us. The only difference between this yard and Jamaica is that this is an easy job. Jamaica is not so easy. Let me tell you something. You hear the rake in the background? Beautiful sound. Sometimes it's good to get lost in the moment. In the Parliament on Tuesday, which was a marathon session, that session and the presentation by Andrew Holness is perhaps one of the best parliamentary presentations I have certainly heard, perhaps from any Prime Minister, on crime in recent times. This man has placed himself in the position as the Minister of National Security. He has a Minister of National Security. Listen to all this night shit going on over there. Right? My producer trying to sort that out. I beg you to try and ignore that. Andrew Holness has placed himself as Prime Minister front and center in the fight against crime because of the crucial moment in which Jamaica has found herself. And what was laid out for the people of Jamaica, contrary to some of the thoughts that we express without a broader appreciation of the multi-layered approach that is now being taken. What was laid out by the Prime Minister are the raft of measures being undertaken simultaneously within the context of an extremely unhealthy and very high levels of murder taking place in Jamaica for the last 20 years and continuing. When I learned, for example, from the Prime Minister that 12 murders in 1 week in the week of the 13th to the 19th of November is the least number of murders we've had in a week since about 2015. I was absolutely floored by that. So if we don't think these are normal times, if we don't want to continue to live in a la-la land, someone is going to stay in la-la land by themselves, because I don't intend to be there with you. Right? If you think that this is not a time for a prime minister to either go hard or go home, and for the people to stand up and support proper crime-fighting strategies, of which a state of emergency must be one. And if a state of emergency is not created for situations like these, we may as well remove it from the Constitution, because it is not fit for any purpose that Jamaica will ever experience. Yeah? So what I see going on is a complete unappreciation for the realities of what this country is facing, when we're not facing up to the fact that these are not normal times and emergency measures are desired with the proper regulations to protect as much as possible the rights of the citizens. But every single decision that I see coming out of the court in their interpretation of the Constitution, it is recognized that the concept of proportionality is important, but public safety, public order, national security matters most trump some rights. So we are behaving as if this thing is not created for situation of emergencies such as we have been under for a long time. I hear the call by the private sector groups and so forth for the support of the Senate. I'm not even going to make that call, because I hate to inform you, as somebody watching these proceedings, that this is the most partisan political Senate I have seen in a long time. And even when they make the argument for the state of emergency to be imposed, some of them don't even have the guts to say and vote against it. They sit and they abstain, or they conveniently leave the Senate. Check the record. Yeah? So this may very well fall through, but what I see from this Prime Minister, with the 20 years of decay that has happened, is a Prime Minister who has recognized the need to either go hard or go home. And it's going to take time. Regrettably, we don't have time on our hands, because every week that passes, we lose at minimum 12 people, 70 to 75% of them to the gun. Because devil knows cleans up his yard. How much are we prepared to clean up Jamaica? Not to leave small overnight, you know. And I love this place. This is my favorite ice cream place in the world. Absolute favorite, without, having tried several others. And then cleaning up, it's time for we clean up to it. I hold no hope that the state of emergency will be extended in the Senate. But what to do? I saw a judge in Hanover, I think it was, the Honorable Mr. Justice Day, lamenting that Hanover is supposed to be one of the most peaceful parishes in the country. And normally in years gone by, when he went down for a term, he'd get one box of cases for the term for trial. And when he's gone down now for this term, it's 3 boxes in get. And it is humanly impossible for all the cases on the list to be tried in the term. And the murders are continuing. So you tell me how it is that we are not to use a measure in the present to halt the murders being committed, to at least give the judges, the attorneys, the court system the time to attempt to clear up the backlog that is there, and not even to come even yet because we can't come even anytime soon. How must we not? And for those who are calling for legislation to say that we're supposed to bring the emergency measures, we can't be too unfair in our criticisms, you know. Let us not forget that the country has had to be managing one of the greatest crises since 1918 with COVID over the last 2-3 years. Let us not forget that the capacity of the drafters for law, the capacity is limited because they don't have the numbers. Let us not forget that for something to become law, Cabinet has to straighten out policy directives. And then not only that, in the best spirit of lawmaking, Joint Select Committee is desired that a Joint Select Committee takes submission from the public, and so the process takes time. And again, as somebody who watches the process of passage of laws in the Parliament, not a week goes by when a law is not on the floor of Parliament or before a Joint Select Committee being debated. So we can curse a lot, and we can say a lot is not being done, which is truthfully so. But is there greater capacity to do more than is being done now? And even if we get the drafters, can the Parliament move much faster than the Parliament is doing while allowing for the participatory process in making laws? You tell me. You go hard or you go home and you homeless, and I think you realize that. So the people of Jamaica will have to decide. I have certainly decided. Those are my thoughts for the moment. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. So we don't yet have power to our broadcast system. So I'm literally joining on my cell phone with studio to get the program on. And we'll see, trying to work as hard as possible. I suppose we're going to be using solar and wind energy. Well, not wind. It's not very strong at the moment. It's time for us. But somebody has brought a beautiful basket of, oh God, I just love the Jamaican stuff, you know. Some nice hot bonnet pepper, some papaya, beautiful carrots. I could just wash them and bite them right now. Some nice thyme, nice cucumber. Here's the cherry. Daddy, give me one hot pepper. Is a cherry. A cherry meat, and this I want me bite of the pepper. And some, is that pak choy? We call it pop show. And okra. A nice plantain. I hope never give me this basket if you can roam like on a curry no go on this weekend, you know. Where's breadfruit? Eh? Roasting breadfruit or boiling breadfruit? That are halfway. That can roast. Yes. Beautiful basket is here. I just love this place. I mean, the growth provisions are so nice. Look at the scallion. Look at the scallion, them look good. I'm making some kind of banana. The banana, them bigger than comrade leg them. I'm planting, not to mention planting. Pineapple. Just beautiful. Sugarcane. I think I'll be going home with a lot today. I'm so happy I didn't do my usual Coronation Market run. The core is here now? Which we are core now? Every time I can say so. You're running? You're running and you're running and you're running away. Wow, listeners, so we're here. Let me see if I can make sure you're hearing me properly, because CT said the connection didn't sound so well on my Bluetooth device. I'm gonna have to hold this phone up to my ears. I mean, the whole balance system up to the ears, you know. Let me see what's going on now. All right. Right. Let's see if that works. But it's the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries that Eat Jamaican Day outside broadcast here, and it's part of their ongoing Eat Jamaican campaign. in collaboration with the Jamaica Agricultural Society, focusing our attention on the national effort during this month, which has been designated Eat Jamaican Month. Let me go to a break and come back with you. This is the Hotline.
Welcome back to the Hotline. Thank you, listeners. I'm properly powered up now. I've got my headset on. I'm ready to roll. Right. I'm happy to be joined by Mrs. Janet Pullen, Marketing Projects and Training Manager with the Jamaica Agricultural Society. And remember that this outside broadcast is part of the Eat Jamaican campaign with the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries in collaboration with the Jamaica Agricultural Society. So I join Mrs. Janet Pullen now to better understand the history of the Eat Jamaican and accomplishments over the past 19 years and what we can expect from today's expo. Mrs. Pullen, can you hear me? Welcome to the Hotline. You can't hear me yet. We'll make sure that she can, and we'll try and get the levels down just a little bit next door. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Now? Yes, I'm hearing you.
You're hearing me?
Yes, so look at me since I'm right in front of you. Tell me about the history of the Eat Jamaican campaign.
Okay, we started the Eat Jamaica campaign some 19 years ago, and it came out of the need. There was a need, there was a problem, and the problem at the time was the whole matter of import bill. Mm-hmm. So the then chairman of the board, which was Norman Grant, decided to start this Eat Jamaican campaign, and it was basically to get people to get more socialized with the idea of eating what we grow and grow what we eat. Mm-hmm. But Emily, what has happened is that out of that there was various different components. So yes, we sensitize our people eating Jamaican and so on. Mm-hmm. But when you eat Jamaican and you support the farmers, what you're actually supporting is not just the farmer, mm-hmm. the farm family and its community, and by extension the nation. But out of that, there were different components. The component of branding Jamaican food. Mm-hmm. The other component was creativity. We got an eruption, a volcanic eruption, which comes down with the whole matter of how we use our food and the things that we come up with. And I was telling somebody the other day that if you want the best butter or spread, you have to use a ripe breadfruit.
What?
Yes, I will take it for you later. I have it planned.
Yes.
But out of that came so many different ideas and creativity, and out of that also came the matter that we have to have standards. Mm-hmm. So SRC, a Bureau of Standard. All of a sudden, people start to realize the importance of all of that. So there was a whole range of different components. So when you talk about eating Jamaican, we cannot just talk about isolately. Mm-hmm. You have to talk about all the different components that has come out of that. Mm-hmm. And then COVID caused us also to start looking really at our health consciousness and eating right. And one of the things that we talk about when you talk about eating right is when you know what you're eating because you plant it. Mm-hmm. So we have just developed a whole era, a new approach to the idea of eating Jamaica.
Yes.
And then the minister recently at Denby launched the Grow Smart, Eat Smart. And then guess what? It just fits beautifully in it, because if you grow smart, eat and eat smart, then you have to eat Jamaican.
Yes.
You know?
But I just wonder, I don't know if you know this marketing projects training for your department. I'm not sure if or what percentage of what we produce at the moment is actually being consumed by our people and sufficient to feed our people, if our people even eat at the levels that they eat now, or we need to import to fill the gap. If there's a gap there.
I'm going to be very honest with you, Emily. We do not have a problem. For me, we don't have a problem with production. Mm-hmm. My situation is the fact that we have not been effective enough in the whole matter of zoning. Mm-hmm. One of the things is that we depend on rainfall. 90% or 65% of our farmers depend on rainfall.
Yeah.
So what you find happening when the rain starts to fall, everybody's going to look for a 3-month crop. because they want to
Yep.
make some money quickly.
Yep.
But the point is that when that 3 months, so everybody competing, so when that first 3 month pass after the rain, you're going to have a glut.
Yes.
So the zoning is what I think that us as an organization, along with the ministry, need to start to spend some time with and structure it in such a way that we have it nationally.
Yes, and
So that
explain the zoning for me, how that would work.
so the zoning would depend on soil types and what is best for growing in what area and so on. So the Ministry of Agriculture, through RADA, who is the technical arm of the ministry and the extension arm, would go into the different communities. And I think they do know what crops do very well where and how.
Yeah.
And then coupled with that, we are introducing the whole matter of protective farming and so on. But you would intersperse that with what the farmer, the outfield farmer would do. So we'll be able to better cover the amount of production and the accessibility, because when you have scarcity, price go up.
That's right.
And so if we are able to manage that properly, we will reduce the price of food.
Right, and then now for this expo here today, tell us about how many booths you expect to have and the variety of things on display. And also, can people just walk in and buy?
Just a saying of no, but we'll get them store. Thanks by Singer. Thanks by Singer and Messi for the gas. So they'll have something.
No, Messi, you say?
Yeah, Messi.
Because Messi now scored a goal in also.
But this
Ronaldo
one score a goal because we get gas and so on. So we're gonna have a good time today.
I think we are. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Looking forward to the cook-off, seeing what exactly will be in the mystery basket and who can turn them hand and make fashion.
That's right. All right.
Take
Thank
care,
you so much.
Mrs. Janet Pullen, Marketing Projects Training Manager with the Jamaica Agricultural Society, just coming to hand. A press release from the Jamaica Council of Churches. The Jamaica Council of Churches has taken note of the call from various sectors, including directly from the government, to support the extension of the announced states of public emergency in 7 communities in our nation. We are concerned that the continuation of the SOPEs continue to proffer despite several challenges to its existence. In 2021, the Supreme Court handed down a ruling on the unconstitutionality of the state of public emergency. Is that what the court said? Which decision was that, Council of Churches? Point me to that and the paragraph on that. We understand the intention of our government to ameliorate those concerns. We're also mindful that the opposition has suggested further changes that will improve consideration of citizens' rights. However, we are hard-pressed to support a practice that has been demonstrated to be illegal. Where you get this from, Most Reverend Kenneth D. Richards? Please point me to the portions of the decision that you're talking about. A prevailing narrative is that the state of public emergency reduced crime. We acknowledge that while crime and violence are reduced during the actual course of the state of public emergency, the reality is that the incidence of crime escalate shortly thereafter. The continued reliance on the state of public emergency is sidestepping fundamental deep-rooted strategy for long-lasting transformation. The Council affirms the dignity and sanctity of all human life. The loss of any life is lamentable and unacceptable. Thus, every human life is deserving of protection under the law, the care and compassion of social structures, and the affirmation of its value. We therefore deplore all forms of violence and abhor and condemn the killings that are taking place in our land. We note, however, that our nation appears to be in a state of undeclared civil war for over 2 decades, with murders exceeding 1,000 for all years since 2002 except 2003. As a nation, we have not addressed the causes of crime and violence in an effective way. The SOPEs have been used to cauterize in local settings but not transform the national level. And they go on. I have to take a break. This is the hotline. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. It's going to be one of those days where a lot of interesting sounds will seep into the broadcast, and we're now happy to join Purina Pet Talk, Dr. Sarah Wilkinson Eitel, Senior Veterinarian, Managing Director of Phoenix Vet Care, as we continue with you from Devon House for this important Eat Jamaican campaign. Hi, good morning, Dr. Wilkinson
Hi,
Eitel.
good morning. Good morning. Things that we have.
Airlines announced that it's understood that rightly relatives leaves
Turn your Pepsi Golden.
contributors may also
Want to buy?
Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. I'm in one of my favorite places in Jamaica. Trust me, I'll tell you this because I come here to get my stash of ice cream weekly, my 3 quarts, and I come when they have their weekly savings. Miss Calder in the ice cream room, Miss Searchwell, Miss Wasom, Miss Logan. I'm not even sure who is left here now, but over the years I've been coming. I just had the most beautiful surprise because 2 ladies walked up here, Miss Brown and Miss McIsaacs. They came up with a lovely brown paper bag to give me something lovely from Devon House Bakery, one of my favorite patties. So if you've not tried a Devon House patty, you've really never lived, honestly. So I have to ask Miss Isaacs to give me a couple minutes because this is just a Jamaican treasure. How are you, Miss Isaacs?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing great today.
Very well, and thank you so much for this gift for myself and the team.
You are so welcome.
Yes, so tell us a little bit for those who don't know the bakery here at this historic site. Tell us of some of the culinary delights that you have at the bakery.
Okay, of course. So at Devon House Bakery, we have, of course, everybody's favorite. We have our patties. So we have a wide assortment. We have the beef, chicken, fish, callaloo. We
Curry
have
goat.
our curry goat patties. And new to our lineup, we have the ackee and saltfish patty. Yes. So we have to celebrate Jamaica. We have shrimp and we also have the lobster patty.
Yes, those two are my absolute favorites. And then when it's not there, I go for the curry goat. What is fascinating is how much meat you get in the patty.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So what happens that makes ours extra special is that they are all handmade. So they are handmade. They have twice the filling of any other patties.
Yes.
You have that rich, flaky crust. I mean,
Beautiful.
hot out the oven, it is heaven on earth.
And you give for traveling, yeah, right? They can be frozen.
So
for
you can
takeaway.
come in, you can place an order. We ask 24 hours in advance, and you place the order, you make a payment, we will bake it, freeze it. You come, you give us your receipt, we'll sign it off, you can take it and go.
Beautiful. Thank you, and the team there for sending over these for us. We shall certainly enjoy them.
Yes, please
All right.
do. And come
Miss
back
Soon, come
again.
over. Yes, Miss Soon, come over there. I love this place. Every single thing Jamaican about it in just great style. And since we're here, since we're talking all things food, and I'm not wasting my calories today, I'm really having some good Jamaican stuff. Happy to have joining us Dr. Ronald Blake, Executive Director of Jamaica 4-H Clubs. Miss Dr. Blake, how are you?
I am just so happy to see you.
Yes.
And to have you joining and sharing with us at Eat Jamaica.
Yes, and I'm even more delighted to be here and just to be surrounded by all of this good food, good ground provisions.
You're so right.
Yes, tell me a little bit now of the initiative to promote our local food in schools. I know a lot of schools have their own garden, and a lot of what is cooked in the canteen comes from the garden, but a lot of people don't seem to know. If you're anywhere in the vicinity of Devon House, you need to get in here. Honestly, anything I tell you is a view that is honestly held based on something I see, something I read, something I hear. And you need to see the quality of the products that's on display, that's ready to be purchased. If you haven't made your weekend purchase yet at Coronation Market or wherever you go to market, then you need to come here. They're so beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. And now I'm going to On the Pulse with Public Health. So thank you so much, Dr. Tufton, the Minister of Health and Wellness, for joining me. Welcome, Dr. Tufton.
Hi, Emily. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Morning, Doctor. I think you're alone with me today.
I have Mr. Sean Bolton, who is our IT specialist, and one of the interesting developments over the past week has been the contract for health information systems.
Yes, I saw the presentation in the Parliament.
Right.
Let me tell you something, that thing that you proposed in the Parliament on Tuesday sounds absolutely revolutionary, highly welcome, and I just want you to explain for the people who may have missed it what this health information is, what it intends to do, and then Sean Bolton can come in. And I hope you have the report as well from PAHO for Victoria Jubilee, and you'll share some portions of it for me on this program. Over to you, Minister.
All right, so on the first issue, yes, we did announce the signing of a contract, just about $5 million US or so. And that is a contract for a company based out of the UK to put in place a software which in practical and simplistic terms will mean that every patient who interacts with a health institution where that is available, their record or history of treatment will be recorded and will be accessible via the technology, as opposed to via some paper base in a storage area somewhere. So it's easy for the doctor to access, easy for them to assess what their history is, health history, what they're allergic to, what they have been treated with, and therefore is able to diagnose their problem and treat with it in a much shorter time. And that includes whether they went to a health center and then to a hospital, because it will network the health systems that they've right across the board. So it is revolutionary in terms of transaction time, transaction cost, so quicker, less wait, but it also forms a basis for things like telemedicine. So a specialist at Hewitt could treat a patient, theoretically speaking, now in Westmoreland via that technology, by using gadgets to do the examination, looking close up at any problem that is diagnosed, and then prescribing remotely. Mr. Bolton can add to that, but yes, that makes it quite revolutionary. Sean, you want to add anything else?
No, Minister, you have said it all as it relates to the digital health transformation for the Ministry of Health and Wellness that we have undertaken over the past couple of months.
Right.
Now, you may recall, Emily, that we had offered a contract was awarded to Cable and Wireless a few months back, where they were networking the hospitals and health centers, putting in the internet connectivity, and putting in the hardware, the computers, the tablets. Now we're putting the software on top of that, so that it now can be operated in a way that gives the information that I just provided.
So, how soon Cable and Wireless will have that layout so you can actually start bringing this thing on stream?
Where are we now with that, Sean?
It's completed.
So I understand that the networking is completed. Just over 100 health centers and hospitals, 113 have been networked. And they have put in the computers, the tablets. I think they have done some training too. So now this company will come in and then they will place the software on that and to do the change management.
Right.
So that staff can now move from paper-based records to electronic-based records.
So you need some people then, Mr. Bolton, to upload via scanning or whatever device you will use, upload the paper-based system to this electronic health record management system, and then to do the interfacing. Is that all taking place now?
Yes, so we have the infrastructure put in place. As Minister just said, the network, the security protocols for the interconnectivity of these facilities. We have the infrastructure such as the network cabling, the network switches, workstations such as laptops, desktops, etc. These have already been put in these facilities. Training has already been completed for users of these devices. And now we are at the stage of implementing and putting on the software on these devices.
I just wonder, Minister, I don't know if you've spoken with the Attorney General about it, whether we need the consent of patients who access the public health system for their information to be uploaded and so shared across sort of this one platform. Did you get any legal opinion on
well, we are the system we're putting in will conform to the data protection legislation. The storage of it, which we do routinely now, Ministry of Health, I must say, is one of those institutions that had a fairly good track record of keeping personal information, health records private, whether it's HIV, whether it's their history. And so all we're doing now is moving it from the paper base, where it is less secure. Someone can go into a doc room and pull a file and read upon someone, to an electronic form, which has its risk, but is more secure once the protections are in place. And all of those are being put in place. So there's no, the only way where I see permission being required is if a patient wanted to move that information to maybe a private doctor or an institution for a recommendation or something like that. Then that patient would have to give permission. We wouldn't share that outside of the health systems and the doctors or otherwise who have to treat with that patient.
Right. As I recall, under the Data Protection Act, the data is owned by the patient, and I think they can literally request that it be pulled from the system. Yeah?
Yeah. Yes, they can.
Yeah. And then the penalties under this, which one of the brilliant things you said in the Parliament at the moment, nothing stops an inquisitive nurse who has nothing to do with a particular file from going into a cabinet and taking out the physical file of a person, perusing it, having the information. Nobody knows except the nurse and whoever else may have seen the nurse. When everything is uploaded and proper data management system pursuant to the Act is in place, you can literally have an electronic footprint of the people who access your data, and action can be taken for illegal or unauthorized access of the data, which is quite good. Yeah? So
absolutely.
Let me take the calls. 876-926-2178, 926-8631, 926-7615. Before we go, please ensure, Minister, you have something from that Victoria Jubilee report that you can share with us. I'd be grateful to hearing not a lot, but some sort of conclusion about it. Who do we have online now? This is a hotline on the Pulse with Public Health. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
I would like to speak to the minister.
You are speaking with the minister. To whom do I speak?
Oh, to Mr. Mirage.
Mr. Mirage, go ahead. Dr. Tufton is listening.
Good morning, Dr. Tufton.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, sir.
Our problem at the KPH, where the echogram machine that look after your heart, every time I went down there, they say it is out of use.
Every time you go down there, it's out of use. Yes?
Yes. What's the problem that it can't fix? It's over 2 years I've been going to and fro at the hospital. I'm a patient there at the KPH.
Echogram.
So it has been working for the 2 years or just recently?
No, for the last 2 years I've been going there. Every time I go, it's only one time they ever done an examination. But for about going into 2 years now, they say it's out of use.
Well, that's something I'd need to look into. I'll have get your details from the producer and follow up after the program. But we do have an alternative, which is the outsourcing of diagnostics to private players where the machines or the equipment may not be working in the hospital. So if they were to tell you that, whoever, they should have also said that you can get it done elsewhere. So I'll check on that and find out.
That's all on them. They say you can get it done elsewhere, but it costs $8,000. That is the cheapest place. And I can't afford it. I'm a pensioner. And what I get for pension can't manage it.
Yes, right. You're not supposed to pay when you go elsewhere. That's what the minister is saying, right, Minister?
Right. The outsourcing arrangement has been
I asked them about the free one, and they say they don't do that echogram free. So I don't know.
But I'd love to find out who you have been talking to. So let's take that information, Emily, and then
Hold on, Mr. Maraj. Hold on, please. Thank you so much. Let's go to a break. When we come back, more of your calls on the Pulse with Public Health. Dr. Chris Tufton, Health Minister, will take those questions. Thank you, listeners. On the morning when we are being told by BBC that Kanye West has announced his 2024 presidential bid. This is to become the president of the United States. Not the president of a football federation, but the president of the United States. But on a morning like this, we rejoin Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister here in Jamaica for On the Pulse with Public Health. And with him, we have Mr. Sean Bolton, who is an IT specialist. And it's time for more of your questions. 876-926-2178, 926-8631. Hello. Good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi. Who do we have here?
Teresa.
Welcome, Teresa. The minister is listening, Dr. Tufton.
I'm asking if it's possible to put an ECG machine at the Lionel Town Hospital, which serves a dozen communities.
Right. So the Lionel Town Hospital, which we have added a few extra services since in recent times, including the perimeter fencing that we provide protection for the patients, offers limited services, as you know, and there are referrals or advanced services to the Maypen Hospital. We're doing the same with the Frankfield Hospital, which will be open next week by the Honorable Prime Minister. So the challenge with placing a machine in a hospital, Emily and Carla, is that you have to also place with the machine the experts to operate it. Mm-hmm. So it's not normally a simple case of just the machine. I will check on it to see what the possibilities are. But I know you can get the service at Maypen.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be easy, Miss Teresa, to move a machine from one place to the next. So some days not going to work.
I'm saying, the person who do the operating would do it like you say every Monday, every Wednesday, or whatever.
Well,
some of us are old and don't have the money to go to them big.
All right. He will look into that. So you're asking whether ECG can be put at Lionel Town Hospital. Thank you, Mr. Racer. Minister says he will look at it.
Thank you to
God bless
to the
you.
Minister.
Yeah, and update us sometime next week before the Christmas. All of these matters, make sure you have the answers so listeners can know going into the new year. Please, Minister. Who next do we have there? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Is this a call-in program hotline?
It is the hotline. It's time for On the Pulse with Public Health. You have a question for the Health Minister, Dr. Tufton, sir?
Wow, not with health directly, but maybe with the general health of the nation. Read the SOEs and the current narrative.
All right. Would you wish to... I have a full segment. You have to call back in about 20 minutes. I hope that's convenient to you. I'd certainly love to hear it.
Yes, because I'm very disappointed with those who control the narrative right now in terms of how they're seeing things.
What do you mean, who control the narrative, sir?
Okay, the chattering classes, I'm hearing the private sector, and I'm really disappointed with their pronouncements.
All right. Well,
very disappointed.
Come back.
They should think about the World Cup.
Come back. Come back, because you're part of the chattering class you haven't got on. So come back and talk to me. This is the hotline, 876-926-2178. Hello, time for questions with Minister Tufton.
Yes, good morning, Miss Emily.
Who is this? Welcome.
Yeah, my name is Lincoln.
Yes, Lincoln.
Yes, and good morning, Minister.
Morning, Lincoln.
Yes, I met into an accident and I was admitted at the Kingston Public Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And April going to make 4 years now. And I want the medical record and I can't get it. I call every department and they keep giving me the run around. So the doctor did get it and don't know where he put it and I just cannot reach anywhere. Sometimes they say it don't fix good and all along. So I try to get even to the CEO and I can't get it. That's our secretary, mm-hmm. and they keep running me around.
Where were you treated, you said?
Kingston Public.
Right. So 4 years now?
April coming when I make 4 years now, and I need a medical record to go to the insurance, and I can't get it.
Well, let me just tell you, make sure you have a lawyer. 1, 2, the lawyer can draft a letter to the insurance without the medical record as a start. And 3, make sure the lawyer, listen to what I'm saying, Lincoln. Make sure the lawyer file a claim before the time run out, and then you can produce the report at some point in time. Okay? All right. Minister can answer.
I have a lawyer on it. And the lawyer said, we must try and get the record because they can't get it.
No, the lawyer has to write to the hospital.
They write to them, they said, and they can't get it neither.
Well, just remind the lawyer to file a claim in court so that you don't run out of time to bring the claim, and the report can be submitted at a later date. Yeah?
Yes.
So, Minister, can you have a look at that?
Right, so let me just say to Lincoln again, Emily, I'm going to work your producer a bit to get that contact. We'll follow up, but this is a classic case of what the difference would be between a paper-based arrangement and the electronic health systems that we're now implementing. Because under the new arrangement, it's just a click of a button, appropriate security features to allow access to assigned persons, and he would have had that report within a day. And that's the beauty of the new system. But that doesn't solve this problem. So let me say to Lincoln, I'll take your name and I will ensure that the team follows up and contacts you. There's no reason why you should be waiting 4 years unless it has been lost, and which is possible in these paper-based arrangements. If that is the case, we'll have to find a doctor to do an examination and write something to satisfy the requirements that you need.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lincoln.
Thank you very much.
Hold on and just leave your details in my producer. Minister, do we have Dr. Kevin Goldburn here, one of your head of mental health and substance use?
Yes, he's online if there are any issues related to that.
Okay, Dr. Goldburn, welcome to On the Pulse on the hotline. Let me see who else we have there. 876-926-2178, 926-8631. Hello, morning.
Hi, good morning, Emily.
Hi, who is this?
This is Marcia from Spanish Town.
Welcome, Marcia. Minister.
Yes, thank you. My first time too. However, I want to talk about the Compassionate Fund because I made an application on behalf of an individual from the 3rd of October. I may have submitted the application on the 4th of October, but my letter has the 3rd. I have not heard anything about it. I went to the Ministry of Health about 3 weeks ago. I spoke with the lady in charge or the person at the desk. She was asking me all the necessary information that I submitted already. I have the form for the endoscopy to be done, for the colonoscopy to be done.
Yeah.
I have the doctor's letter. I have everything. I submitted a file.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what is happening. As a matter of fact, Emily, I have 2 numbers here for that section. And none of the numbers work, Emily.
Did you get an acknowledgement to say that your application has been received?
No, ma'am, I'm still waiting.
Minister?
I'm still waiting. And you know, I'm a bit concerned because persons are needing the service with respect to the Compassionate Fund. And I know the minister is very passionate about it because he spoke of it, I think, last week. But we are not able to access it, Emily.
Let him answer this, Minister. What can you tell Marcia?
Right. So I will look into that case, but to the caller, and so again I'll ask that the name and contact be collected. But let me just say the fact that she spoke to someone, I think, should be confirmation that the matter is being assessed. There's a committee that meets, I think it may be once every few weeks, to assess the application. So if she looked at it in October, we're now in November.
The end of November.
That's still a fairly long. That's a fairly long wait. But you know, when I started as minister, we were allocating about $100 million to the Compassionate Grant. For those who don't know, it's really a grant that we give based on the cost of a procedure that, based on an assessment of the patient's capacity to afford it.
Yes.
It is now over 300 million. And so what the committee tends to do is to screen. They don't always get it right, but they don't give everybody who applies. It's a function of whether they are convinced that you cannot afford it, because it's a lot of money. But I will look into this case and we will get back to the person as quickly as possible. And I do believe in it because we believe in the principle of universal access. No one should be denied care based on their inability to afford. And sometimes we do have to help beyond what is offered in the public system.
Yeah.
Emily,
response time, you have to turn
heard
around
Minister,
that. Yes.
I heard him, but let me be honest with you. I don't think with due respect to the minister, I'm not sure he understands what is happening, because I don't know what the minister is talking about. I know it is a grant and affordability. But Emily, if you submit something, be honest with me. If you submit something, you're expecting somebody to call you or to say something.
Yes, I send an electronic notification.
I went up there myself, Emily. They could not tell me anything about it. So when he's talking about that they meet like every week or every other week, I understand that and I know that. So why is somebody not speaking to me, Emily?
Yes.
But I will wait for somebody to take my contact and to make. Must I stay on the line, Emily?
I think that's valid. I think that's valid that you should be responded to one way or the other, positive or negative. So
must I stay on the line?
Yes. Hold on. He will follow up specifically, but generally, I think what she's saying, people have to be whipped into some kind of response, and I think that's a fair request that the minister acknowledges. Thank you, Marcia. Thank you for being the first-time call. And the person you made the application for, how is she or he? Marcia? All right, just hold on for me. We'll get some updates on that. 876-926-2178, 926-8631. Last call before the minister gives us a quick synopsis of the report. Hello, morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Chief.
Yes, Buster.
West Central, ma'am. West Central. Anyhow.
West Central, yes, all right.
Yeah. You asked the minister a $1 trillion question, but before the answer, I went away from the radio. Your personal medical data, right? Or would you assure that it don't pass on to anybody?
He said the Data Protection Act, which has some very strong and interesting provisions. I should have another program with counsel who is literally studying data protection.
As I said, I didn't hear the reply because I went away.
He says we have strong Data Protection Act, and I think we need to deal with it, Buster, so people can understand their rights under the law.
I said I'm West Central, ma'am.
West Central. All right, let's stay there. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you. Minister, we have 2 minutes to go. Give me a brief synopsis as to what is in that report, can you?
Right. So I'm not going to go into details because the team we will have a brief of some kind for the public next week, and I had asked the technical people to look at it and see. But my initial glance of the report, without going into details, suggests that it is relatively similar to what has been discussed and what the findings were from the internal assessment done by the regional authority and the office of the chief medical officer when the problem was initially discovered. So there are issues around staffing, there are issues that around infection prevention and control, there are issues in terms of the need for some additional training in some areas. So I don't think there's anything there that's going to be earth-shatteringly, radically different from what was initially discovered. And that is borne out, to my mind, if you were to look at it analytically, in the fact that the response that was taken even before the advice and recommendations from the report did lead to solving the problem. So clearly there was some accuracy in the assessment. But next week, the team will provide better details and particular details and what some of the follow-up action will be.
Does it point to the health of any person who was admitted to Victoria being compromised as a result of the failure to notify the public about the outbreak of the bacteria there?
I don't recall seeing that, but again, the team I'm sure will address that if necessary or if asked next week. But I don't recall seeing any of that.
Can I thank you so much, yourself and your team. Have a great weekend, Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. Thank you so much as well, Mr. Sean Bolton, IT Specialist in charge of this health information system that will be rolled out shortly. That's on the Pulse of Public Health. It's Headlines Time. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the hotline. I hope the gentleman who called during On the Pulse and who appears to want to express his views on the state of the nation in relation to crime and the discussions about the states of emergency. I hope he can get through so we can have that conversation whilst we continue here at the South Lawn of Devon House for this crucial campaign, which is just eating what we grow. Look at this. Money Musk is presenting me with a lovely bag. Curleen, the beautiful Curleen Graham, Director HR Community Relations at SCJ Holdings. But Mr. Wayne, this I know. What a pretty bag. Everything me get me have to tell you, full disclosure. Watch out, fan me. Because I'm hot. Classic gold. Money Musk Plantation rum since 1735. Tell us what percentage volume is this now, Miss Graham? Put on this quickly and tell me how much alcohol in this thing you're giving me on public radio so I can just open and go and flask. Since me had a flask in my hand. Tea? Above 50% volume? Let me see. Yeah, them might get dark, All me have on glasses and me can't see. You see it, Miss Graham? What percentage volume? 40%. It's almost like whiskey.
Yes,
put up the microphone here. So, how are things with you and the team?
Great morning, Jamaica. One day. Where is Uno? Come on out to this Eat Jamaican Day. Miss Emily and the family is here.
Nice.
Lord, it's nice over here.
Lovely.
The producer pretty name, Miss Emily.
It's so beautiful. I'm gonna walk around and make sure I allow the people to see by visualizing the words with the beauty of the production that is all here.
I'm not exaggerating. I just walked through and I'm so impressed.
It's wonderful.
I ate my banana, ate my sweet sop already. You know, hear me?
You find sweet sop?
Over there, so.
Me go to the left?
No, you don't have to leave me, Carrico.
To the left, we're never Republicans.
Yes, ma'am.
Me go to the left, the right about now,
Yes,
go eat. So, no for what them ripe, good?
Holy, nice and sweet.
Lovely. Thank you so much for this lovely.
And the Money Mushroom is here.
Thank you.
Finest in the world. I just want to thank you for accepting.
Thank you.
Listen, man, we don't have hands to sell Money Musk rums. It's real authentic Jamaican rums. So please enjoy. And
shall I have it on the rocks later?
Oh my goodness. So yes, cross those legs. Big up to the Money Musk team. Trust me, Emily, you'll enjoy.
Thank you
so
much.
Come out, Jamaica. Come out. The team nice over here.
Yes.
God bless SCJ Holdings.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. I just love the things we produce. I'm going to be walking the grounds, and at the same time, I'll try and make sure I get the chance to talk with the people. But, Nemad, I don't have no headset. How it go if I want to talk to the callers in the meantime? I can't walk and talk. Oh, tea, so I mustn't leave it. I soon walk and tell you. But what a beautiful bottle. Beautiful bottle of rum. I'm going to walk soon and just explain to you all the things that are here. Thank you. She's also giving me a lovely fan. Let me go to a break and position myself so I can tell you what is here. Get your money and come on down to have your weekend shopping done. Thank you so much. This is the Hotline. Let's take a break. Thank you, listeners. We're back with you on the Hotline, and it's all happening here now. The buzz is here. I can assure you I'm not the designated diver. I didn't have any rum. Nemhard is the designated diver. I was the designated driver, but he's a designated diver. Up here, rum talk. We're going to get now. We have Mr. Devon Sayers here, Acting Chief Executive Officer of Jamaica Dairy Development Board. How are you?
I'm fine, Emily.
And how are the cows and all of those?
Well, the cows are doing well.
They come home now to roost. The cows come home to roost.
No, they don't come home to roost. They come in the pasture to hide from the predators.
We have a lot of them out there still, don't we?
Definitely. It's a big challenge to the farmers.
Wow. Well, I want you to tell me, during this time, I know a lot of people, especially around Christmas, lose
a lot of animals.
Yeah.
Cows, goats, sheep, pig, everything.
Do we have a large sheep production here in Jamaica now?
No, we don't. I think the sheep population is like 10% of the goat population. So, Jamaica is mainly a goat producing country.
Yeah.
But guess what? We import more sheep meat and sell it as goat meat. Yeah.
So when I see imported mutton,
it's sheep.
It's sheep.
Sheep, yeah. Old breed out sheep.
But is it properly chevron?
Goat meat is chevron.
Goat meat is chevron?
Chevron, right. And sheep meat is mutton.
What?
Right, but what they do now, they import the sheep meat and market it as goat meat.
As goat meat.
Right.
So goat meat is chevron?
Right.
So
chevron.
how we come to be calling it mutton?
Because it's just a culture. Remember, even with the names of the animals.
Yeah.
A male goat is a buck, but we call it a ram. While originally it's really the ram is a male sheep.
What?
Yes. The male sheep is the ram, and the female sheep is the ewe.
Yeah.
On the goat side, the male is a buck, and the female is a doe.
Oh.
So we get it conflicted. Yeah.
Right. I really have to straighten those things out, at least for the next generation. But are we really having a lot of milk now, or is the science about it a little bit sort of fuzzy? Some people think it leads to inflammation. So whereas we used to go and milk the goat and put the pot straight on the fire and drink your milk and your cow's milk in the country, are we doing a lot of that still?
In terms of the demand for locally produced milk, we are only supplying around 12 to 15% of what we need and what the market demands every year. So right now there's a high demand for it. If you come into the sector, any amount of milk that you produce, the processors are ready to buy it. And this year we're kind of upping milk production over last year. We're more than 100,000 liters more in production than we were last year.
So people are really drinking
fresh, locally made milk. Since the invention of the Tetra Packs, the shelf-stable milk, you see that big surge milk or you see that true milk, more interest is in drinking locally produced milk.
So which one is the locally produced one?
The ones that you see in the Tetra Pack.
What's the Tetra Pack?
Like the little boxes,
little boxes
that can be shelf-stable.
Oh.
Like the surge, the true milk.
Oh, so those are
dairies,
pasteurized?
Pasteurized, yes.
Okay, yeah, they do stay for a long time.
Right. That's
they
a
have
new
different
technology
percentage.
that came out in the late 90s.
Yeah. Isn't that Louis Pasteur?
No, I don't know.
I thought the pasteurization came from...
No, man, not pasteurization. A long life milk that we call the Tetra Pak that allows it to stay on the shelf very long.
Oh.
So that kind of now has kind of pushed the drinking of milk to a different level than when you used to have it have to keep it refrigerated
in the
and
jugs.
it spoil quick.
Yes.
Right.
Oh.
So that basically is out of the market now. The market is pushing more for the long life shelf stable.
Right. Because the jug ones, they go off in 2 days or so. Right. But are people generally, I find with the growth of raw food eating or veganism,
alternative milk farms, like the cashew milk, the almond milk,
the rice milk and so forth.
Well, it is a challenge to the market, but what I've noticed is that the next generation coming up now are more moving towards real milk. Real milk. And we have an opportunity here now as a sector to really market the drinking of locally produced milk. Some of these myths about milk not being good for you, those are just myths.
Milk
is a whole food. Remember when a baby is born, what they live off?
Yes, that a baby will suck mother's breast, but we are literally drinking something from the animal,
right?
Which is contentious for
that goat milk and cow's milk are close to human milk. So that is why if a baby mother can feed her or feed him, you can give them goat milk, which is the closest to the human milk, and then they can use the cow's milk, which is a little bit further away from human milk.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Thought they would turn to tin feeding, Enfamil and all those things.
But those are made from milk.
Is dried milk?
Yeah. Powdered milk.
Okay. So now, tell me what we call the small ruminant. What are those again?
All right, so small ruminant now. All right, so what are ruminants?
Yeah.
Ruminants are animals that have a special chamber in the stomach that can, allow them to chew the cud. So they can preserve the food in there and then bring it up back and chew it. So these include like cattle, and goats and sheep. The small ruminants now are the smaller ruminants, like the goat and sheep. The large one is like the cow, the buffalo, and oxen or so forth. Those are large ones. So small ruminants is basically a category for goats and sheep.
Right.
Right.
All both of which you say we have them here, even though production of sheep is sort of low.
Right.
Okay. And for Christmas, can you tell us whether, based on your knowledge, Dairy Development Board, do you have enough? I thought you said if we put out milk, the market is ready to take it up. So we don't have enough to supply the demand that is here.
No, we don't have enough.
So some importation is necessary.
Yeah, man. So that is where we come in now. So we regulate the amount of milk powder that comes into our country. So for example, the Dairy Board now, we're funded by a 1% cess that is charged on imported milk products and on locally produced milk. So that is what funds us. Right. So what we do now, we use those funds now to push back into the sector to help our farmers now to develop better systems in terms of pastures.
Yeah.
In terms of now, we have a program at Dairy Board that we call the National Livestock Genetic Improvement Program.
Yeah.
Where we allow them to access semen and embryos from high producing animals. Right. So when we now breed a cow or a goat with some of that imported semen now, the cow now, the offspring from that will produce more milk. So these are some of the things that we're doing to kind of improve the amount of milk production. And then we have a fodder conservation program. You know, in Jamaica we have 6 months of rain and normally 6 months of drought. So with our fodder conservation program now, we train the farmers on how to harvest the grass and the other fodder material and store it, so that they can use it during the time of drought. So initiatives that we're using to improve the milk production.
And our temperatures here are good enough for milk in the animals, because I know I've seen in some countries where the time is too cold, so the animals can't produce enough milk.
Well, our problem is that most of the dairy animals, the breeds, are what we call temperate breeds. They don't do well in very warm climates.
What?
Right, but we now have developed our local breed that we call the Jamaica Hope.
Yes.
That was created way back.
Yes.
That can withstand the heat to a level. But however, now we need now to promote the use of what we call environmental modification models.
Yeah.
Where we have the cattle under fans and cooling
I'll
systems.
give them AC, yes.
Yes.
They cock up them food.
Yeah, man, because when the temperatures are cooler, the cows will produce more milk. So these are some of the systems that we're pushing.
Then if cow want AC, what woman to do? No, see, the time too hot, the cow can't produce. Do we have the facility here to convert milk into milk powder, or we don't need to do it because the demand is so great for the milk?
Well, so far demand, the demand is there that we don't really need it. But we can't be short-sighted.
Yeah.
Because the market sometimes demands storage. And one of the things that protects you from food insecurity is the ability to have in storage. So going forward, we have to look at when we reach that level of production where we have surplus to turn it into milk powder and other value-added products.
Good.
Such as cheese and yogurt.
We do what?
Genre recording Spring Road. Substance on Hotline. Radio Jamaica, active for the good of our nation.
Hey, me now go home today, My God. DT, it is absolutely brilliant here. I've just been sent a bag of sweet sop. I'm making sure that I get for you as well, for the entire team. Michelle, Rose, and Jenny's. They're from the United Farmers Group from Gutters in St. Catherine. Thank you so much for sending these lovely bags of sweets. What a good thing we never send go to Coronation Market this week here, because may I tell you, say, there's something them nice. Anyway, NCB time. NCB no send me nothing, but it's for them time. Inside Banking with NCB. I think, who do I have here now? Last week, Argentina. Mr. Man come say my support Argentina. And Argentina get a piece of 2-1. Who play? Saudi Arabia? The Saudis beat them. Saudis. Saw them go till all national holiday get declared. And then they had another gentleman, they said to me, who said he's supporting Liverpool. And the same weekend, Liverpool play Arsenal. And we deal with them. So Mr. Leon Drysdale, Westdale, branch manager Linstead. Let me hear who you support now. Morning to you, sir.
Good morning and morning to the listening public. I support Brazil, Emily. Brazil is the team that I'm carrying.
Well, you've got Gabriel Jesus from Arsenal and you've got Martinelli from Arsenal. So I can hardly fault you. And those 2 goals from Richarlison yesterday were just absolute classics.
Classic goals, especially the second one.
I think that guy practiced it a million times and I'm asleep before it actually happened, yeah?
Certainly. You have to do that, Emily.
You have to.
I totally agree with you.